with a stomach rumbling, a very loud, a worn-out Luffy, and a Sanji that finally reaches him. What despair awaits us next? From what I can guess, it is bottomless. Hi for those who are watching, it's the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, bringing you chapter 855 of One Piece. First, a funny cover picture, although a little sad too. Corazon lighting his not cape, his feathered jacket on fire. And what do I mean by despair? Well, last time Sanji kicked away Bobbin, of course that did not knock out Bobbin. However, it does turns out that Bobbin has a relatively low bounty for someone who is a member of a Big Mom pirate. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean he is not a threat, you know. I mean, we should not underestimate a low bounty. Don Flamingo is one of the best examples. I mean, his bounty was the highest until we got the bigger toppers. But he still turned out to almost be double that bounty in danger. So it's very likely that Bobbin is a very huge danger, and it's very likely that now he's gonna chase after Sanji, and then Sanji is gonna lose to him. Why? Because, well, Oda just will never treat Sanji's character right anymore. And don't get me wrong, it's Sanji's character I like. I just don't like how Oda has portrayed Sanji's character this entire arc. Either way, Bobbin has a bounty of 105 million, I think. He's known as Bobbin the Fixer, and he has a strange ability which can hypnotize people to fall them into sleep. From what we can guess is, this may be a devil fruit, but who knows? He makes them fall asleep because, well, he wants to clean up this mess himself. A bit of arrogance there, but hey, he's a Big Mom pirates. Later on, the Mirror Gang have managed to reach Big Mom in her sleeping hall. She's now, strangely enough, wearing a sleeping dress. And when I mean strange for that, I still cannot get over the fact on her pronouns. Either way, she's surrounded by her familiar homies, and still has Brook in her hands as she sleeps, but even Brook himself is sleeping. Brule of course tries to scream, but they gag her, and although Big Mom awakens, it's mostly because she sees a fly, and let me just tell you, when she tries to destroy a fly, well, she throws one hell of a tantrum. Even her homies are pretty, well, overprotective when it comes to her homies. It also revealed somehow, don't ask me why, but hey, I do not complain about that, but somehow Napoleon actually has a sword inside of himself, inside of itself. I mean, I do not complain about that. It's just that I guess this does answer the question that maybe Big Mom do fight using a weapon. But so far she's the only Yonko who fights barehandedly. Then again, she fights with her homies who have element of power, so who knows. Of course, the Mirror Gang, besides Jinbei, who is, well, of course he's scared, but he's a little bit more calm in this situation, feels this is hopeless. But they create a fake Brook body using skeletons from an execution place, as well as seaweed from the kitchen. And so they will try to swap this with Brook. They leave a Brule in between the mirrors so they can travel freely through it. Chopper is of course the first one to do it, and he sneezes, which is, by the way, actually the dumbest thing he's ever done. Next is Carrot. She cuts to Brook. Unfortunately, Big Mom blows such a huge bubble that Zeus half awakens and just electrocutes in the fly. And of course Pedro tries, but then just well, Big Mom just tosses while she dreams a wedding cake. Then number 4 is Nami. She managed to reach Brook, and because when Big Mom tossed after Pedro's turn, she let loose of her iron tight grip of Brook. Nami awakens Brook, and as soon as he sees, well, a copy of himself, maybe, he suddenly screams. But that still doesn't wake Big Mom up, as she still thinks it's a fly. And then she takes Prometheus and throws it on the ground. The same attack she did when she had her raging moments. She calls that Heavenly Fire. And luckily, Jinbei is the last one who saves both Brook and Nami and leaves behind the fake Brook corpse as they get into the mirror and saving Brook. Elsewhere, Sanji has finally reached the battlefield of the all types of homies. It's clear though that really Luffy really fought very good in this one. A lot of them doesn't seem to be alive, but Sanji is beginning to get a little bit worried that maybe he is not alive. But in the mirror, it then turns out something I was completely wrong about, and I have to criticize this for a reason. It turns out that Brook actually did save the poneglyphs. There were a lot of theories going around saying that Brook kept the poneglyph inside of his skull. I did not believe that, by the way. I was wrong. I fairly admit I was wrong, but why didn't I believe that? I know for the fact that Brook could open his skull. Simply because of one simple question. Those poneglyphs are not tiny! It doesn't matter how much you try to bend the paper so it can get a little smaller. I seriously did not think a big, poneglyph paper, no matter how much you bent it like that, could possibly fit in that small skull. But it did! That's the reason why I did not believe that could have happened. But hey, I was wrong. And I for one do not like logic, so it doesn't matter. Of course Jinbei Carrot is freaked out when he opens his skull. He takes forward the poneglyph and everybody is so shocked. He now has copied all the 3 poneglyphs, and that means their main mission besides saving Sanji is complete. Now they just need to save Sanji and then they can leave. Of course Diesel and Brûlé hears this, even though they are gagged. So yeah, who knows? However, I have a very big feeling it's not gonna be that easy. But finally Sanji hears Luffy's growling stomach. Luffy, worn out, mummified, and completely exhausted, lies near the body of the dead homie King Baum. As now finally Sanji can feed Luffy. However, Bobbin is on his route away to attack Sanji. And as I said before, I highly think Bobbin will knock out Sanji. Why? Because Oda never treats Sanji's character right anymore. And also because we got as I said in the beginning, we got a relatively low bounty for someone who's a member of a Big Mom pirate crew. And I think that is only to show us even further despair about you shouldn't underestimate this guy. I mean, he did torch an entire island with just him and the troops, so his bounty doesn't do him justice. I don't know exactly why his bounty is so low when people like Pickums, Tamago, and many more have such a high bounty. But who knows? Who knows? Can now Sanji finally feed Luffy so he can get his strength back? I highly doubt that pirate lunch is enough though, but maybe Luffy can begin to eat other things too. I just hope that the other gang will reach them in time so they can plan a counterattack. As I say, they can just grab Sanji and then they can get out of here, but I highly doubt it will end that way. I mean, we were promised the Revier arc, and so this arc should soon wrap up, maybe just 3 more months. Who knows? No, maybe not 3 months. It's too short, but it feels like it could be 3 months. We will get a chapter next week, but after that chapter, I don't think we will get another chapter that week. So whatever's gonna happen, I have as usual, no freaking idea. But I think Sanji wanna stay, mostly out of guilt, but more importantly, because he wants to see his family dead, but he doesn't want to see Reiju dead. So who knows? Either way, Brook getting the poneglyphs also throws down another theory in the crapper, and that was that they were gonna use the disasters of Big Mom losing her temper tantrum in order to take them. Now that's out of the window. Just where is this arc heading? I am seriously asking. Give me your thoughts if you have any.